Hi there! Thank you so much for joining me today. This video is another installment in my How Long Does It Take to Use Up makeup series. This series is where I look at 3 products that I have finished and I have tracked the number of uses it took to finish the product, and I share that information with you. I also give price per ounce, price per gram, and then a final cost per use calculation at the end, and then my thoughts on whether or not I think that this product is worth it. I think I've done 4 videos so far in this series, and every single time I've had surprising results. At least one product has surprised me with how much it costs per use. This is one of my favorite series that I do because I really do feel like it brings the most value to you as a consumer and to myself as well for my future purchasing decisions. Sometimes I think, oh, that bronzer, that foundation is worth the extra money because it's better quality and I'll still get a ton of use out of it. But then when I look at how much it costs me to use it every single time, I have to really think clearly about whether or not it would be worth buying again, and then I can give you an even more thorough review about whether or not it's something I think you should try. Of course, affordability is different for everyone depending on your lifestyle, your income. It's different for everyone. So something that's affordable for me might not be for you, and vice versa, and that's just something to keep in mind in general when you're talking about affordable products and high-end and expensive products. It's different for everybody. Today I'm going to talk about a setting powder that I use for under my eyes and 2 bronzers, one from Nars and one from Too Faced. And because the Besame Under Eye Setting Powder is not a full-size product, it's a deluxe size sample, I'm going to use that to calculate how many uses it would take to use up a full size of this if you used it to set your under eyes, and then do a cost per use analysis for a full size product as well using my own estimates. And like I've done in my past videos, I will have charts showing you everything, so if you're more of a visual person, you will have numbers to look at as I go through. I'm going to first start with the Besame Brightening Violet Powder. It is translucent, but it has a light purple hue. I used it to set my under eyes and I thought it was beautiful. It worked really well on my fair skin. It didn't leave a purple cast. The vanilla one from this brand I find does leave a yellow cast under my eyes, but I'm currently using the rose one that has a little bit of like a pink tint to it, and that one doesn't change the color of my concealer under my eyes at all. So the purple and pink one I think are safe to try. That is if you have fair skin. I don't know how this performs on darker skin tones, but I would steer clear of the yellow one unless you do have very yellow undertones and you have more of like a medium to tan skin tone. I got this in a 3-pack with the rose and vanilla powders, all deluxe samples, for $23. So when you divide that by 3, this cost me $7.67. It's 0.1 ounces and 3 grams, making it $76.67 per ounce and $2.56 per gram. I only used it to set my under eyes. I used a wedge sponge to kind of just pat it into the powder and then put it under my eyes. I really enjoyed it for that. I thought it was a great way to use it, and that's how I use the rose powder now. And it took me 91 uses to use up the entire thing, which means it cost me 8 cents per use. 8 cents every time I used it. And I do think this is a great product. Like I said, I would definitely consider buying the full size of this, so let's look at the numbers as if this were a full size product. So it's $22 full price for 0.21 ounces or 6 grams, making it $104.76 per ounce and $3.67 per gram. So if you are looking at the trio versus the full size, it's actually cheaper per ounce and per gram to get the deluxe sample than it is to get the full size. Sometimes it just works out like that. I actually have a video all about travel size products that are a better deal than the full size. I will link that in the cards. Because the full size is 2.1 times bigger than the deluxe size, I'm taking all of my calculations from the trial size and multiplying all of them by 2.1. So if this were a full size product, I'm estimating it would take me 191 uses to finish the whole thing, making it about 12 cents per use. For me, it's difficult to find finely milled powders that work well under the eye without causing a lot of creasing or making it look super dry under there. Also, a lot of powders that I try to use under my eyes either darken the concealer under my eye or make it so light that it kind of looks weird in photos, even when I'm not using flash. Because it is so difficult for me to find a product that works this nicely under my eyes, I do think that it is worth the 8 cents per use. That's really up to you though, if you think it's worth it. and I do think it will be worth it for me to buy the full size and pay 12 cents per use approximately, because I do think that it is a very well performing product and one that's difficult for me to find elsewhere. The next product I'm going to talk about is the Nars Laguna bronzer. This retails full price for $40. It's 0.28 ounces and 8 grams, making it $142.86 per ounce and $5 per gram. And this one did not take me long to use up at all. It's a more powdery formula, and I don't know if it's because of the brushes I use or just because I do wear bronzer on my face, neck, and chest on a regular basis. I just, in general, go through bronzers much more quickly than I feel like some other people do. A lot of people have commented that I go through bronzers very quickly, and I think that is just one of the makeup products that just go really fast for me. This one only took me 49 uses to use up the entire thing. I hit pan right after 25 uses, so it makes sense that it only took me 49 uses to use up the whole thing because I did go through it very, very quickly. That means it cost me 82 cents per use. I absolutely don't think it's worth it. Bronzer is only one of the 20 things I put on my face when I do full face of makeup, and even though I do love bronzer, I think 82 cents per use is way too high for me. Nars is not a cruelty-free brand anymore, so it's not something I'd repurchase anyway, but that kind of hurts to look back and think that every single time I used it, ooh, 82 cents worth of product being used up. And so for me, I don't think Nars is worth repurchasing. I don't feel like I got a great value for my money. It was a good bronzer, it performed well, but I'm sure there are other bronzers out there that are more affordable per use, like the one I'm going to talk about next. This is the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. They don't have this packaging anymore. This is the old packaging. I don't know if the formula is different with the new ones, but I'm sure a lot of people have these in their collection still, so I still think that this is something worth talking about. This retailed full price for $30. It's 0.35 ounces or 10 grams, making it $85.71 per ounce and $3 per gram. This bronzer took a lot longer to use up than the Nars one, thank goodness. It took me 124 uses to finish the product, making it 24 cents per use. It's also $10 cheaper than the Nars Laguna bronzer, and it is 0.07 ounces more, if I'm doing my calculations correctly in my head. So you are getting more product for less money, so that's also something you should take into account when you're looking at price per use. But in general, I just think that this was a better deal than the Nars Laguna bronzer, and it is something I would consider repurchasing. I don't know if the new Too Faced chocolate bronzer smells like chocolate. That was kind of one of my favorite things about it, and the fact that the milk chocolate one was light enough to work with my complexion. I don't know about the new bronzer, I'll have to do some research, but it's something that I would consider purchasing. If it's the same size and same price as this one, it's something I would consider. So those are the 3 products I have to talk about today. I seem to have been going through a lot of makeup products pretty quickly this month. This next upcoming empties video is going to have a lot more makeup in it than I normally have, just because I feel like everything's kind of running out at once. And so I probably will have another video like this coming up very soon. If you've used anything up and tracked how long it took you to use up, please share with us in the comments. I think the more examples we can give, the better. I think it just helps us expand our perspective on what brands are good deals, what give you a really good value for your money versus other brands, and just, formulas, product types, things like that. I just think that the more people who do this kind of thing, the better. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video.